Good morning, I'm Jeff. I'm a Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 3393 Southwest Pendleton Street here in Portland. We're located at the rooftop. We're going down through the 4-inch cast iron vent. We're not able to find the clean out. We're going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We currently have water running. Once we get down to the base of the vent here, I'm going to zero out the camera length counter. That will be referred to as the point of access, which is right here. Here we go. All right here at about 8 feet, we do have a very large root intrusion coming through the line. And it looks like it's also transitioning here right off the bat, which is pretty typical for this age of home, over to 6-inch concrete. And we'll get this located and marked on the way out. Definitely needs a repair. Given the amount of trees in the yard here, decent chance. Yeah, there's another huge root there as well. Alright, here at 59 feet we have reached the main lateral. I'm going to do locates to verify where the line terminates at, and then we'll let the pipe drain out completely before rolling back. Alright, we've had the water turned off now for probably close to 5 minutes. We still have some trickling through here. We're going to start reeling back. I don't know if we have a leaky toilet flapper or just a tub that's taken forever to drain, but enough of it's drained out now we can see the flow line area. So when we're looking at lines like this at this age, you can see right here, these are earthworms. You got one crawling through the pipe joint there, and you got one on the sidewall. There's actually 3 worms there. These joints are to a certain extent compromised. Worms can obviously fit through some pretty small spaces, but those joints are obviously to a certain extent compromised, which leaves them open to the potential for roots to get in. And as lines like this is a very old concrete line. Concrete has a lifespan. You can see how the flow line area is rough and the top part is smooth. Slowly but surely these things wear out, and so do the pipe joints. So when we start seeing root intrusions, especially in a yard like this that has 4 very large trees in it, I typically like to see the entire thing get updated when you start to get roots through it. This right here almost looks like I can't tell if that's excess pipe grout from when they put the joint together. I think that's what we've got going on there. But anyway, as these lines continue to age more and more, the roots will start getting in other places, and that's why when you get roots in them, in my opinion, you're better off to do a full update, because as this line gets older, I think a certain point at which these lines just need to be updated before they start falling apart on you. We do have some standing water here in the line. I'm going to paint this and map this out here. I'm trying to keep the camera lens clean. You know what? This is already marked out by the street with a green flag. The city came in and did locates. But we'll see how this line looks here. This is one that you're probably, just given how the property is set up here, you may want to look into a trenchless type repair, drilling it in. I'll give this thing the full look over here before painting it up. Now, the problem with standing water like this is debris comes down the line, hits that, stops, and starts building up. The other thing I'm not loving about this pipe here is that every single pipe joint just about has excess pipe grout coming through it, which creates a ledge. It's kind of hard to see here with all the gunk, but that right there is another spot where you've got excess pipe grout right in the flow line, and it's entirely possible that's kind of what it's damming things up, because it's right where you don't want it to be. And yeah, we've got a lot of standing water in here, so for that reason I do recommend a full update to the line there. The last 20 feet or so of the line is still in fairly good condition and draining properly, but this first 30 feet or so is in pretty rough condition. We've got some significant standing water problems as well as roots. I'm going to push out here to the end of the standing water, which looks like it dissipates here. And it's hard to tell if it's a grade problem. Because of that excess pipe grout, that could be the culprit damming up the pipe rather than the belly in the line, but it's kind of a tough one to tell. Right about here at about 38 feet, this is where I see the water to start trickling off. So I'm going to map the line out from this point here at 38 feet back to the cast iron transition. All right, put a big white line. There is a green sewer flag marking that looks like the city has done. My marking is just a few feet before that. We're probably about 6 to 8 feet from the street edge here. And my locator is indicating below 15 feet at that point. So very, very deep sewer line. So I definitely want to look into the possibility of doing a trenchless repair. Yeah, it looks like the line has bellied as well as has these little ledges at just about every single pipe joint. And those may look kind of small, but those will hang up just about every ball of toilet paper that comes down the line. Okay, put another marking in the middle of the yard. I'm getting 13 feet 6 inches deep at about 22 feet out there. It's a very deep line. And we're back here to the root intrusion. That's alright, right there is where the transition point is at. So from this point here at about 8 feet out to at least the end of the homeowner responsibility, I do recommend be replaced or repaired. You can do that by trenchless liner, possibly. Well, actually, I take that back. This line has bellies in it, so you don't want to do a liner. You'll retain the belly. So I would look into doing a trenchless bore. That's quite the hole to have to dig. All right, put my final marking down here at the cast iron transition. And there I am getting 11 feet deep. It's an exceptionally deep sewer line, even for a house having a basement. It's 10, almost 11 feet deep there at the cast iron transition. I'm going to go ahead and reel the camera out of the line. The cast iron pipe we just scoped there is in good shape. And again, everything past about 38 feet, the concrete is still in fair condition. And I would check with the city if, I can't remember if we're in Multnomah or Washington County here, but that is important. In Multnomah County, the city takes over at the street curb. But at the very least, I get everything updated out to the edge of the property before it hits the street. That's gonna get all the pipe updated that's around all these trees. Beyond that point, once you're out in the roadway, as deep as this is, the roots would have a very hard time getting to it at that point. And that section of the pipe doesn't have any standing water issues or anything like that, so that's when you could actually do a pipeliner on. And I wouldn't necessarily say update the whole thing now, but just keep that in mind. The line does have a lifespan on it, so if you're here long enough and you simply update out to 38 feet, there's a chance, especially if you were responsible all the way to the main, you may have to do some more updating down the road. But again, everything from about 38 feet on has no standing water in it and can definitely be done by a pipeliner and trenchlessly without digging a hole. Anyway, line goes out the front, straight out to the roadway there. It runs almost smack dab under this tree here. That's where that massive root intrusion's coming through. But we have a whole bunch of very large trees that sit on just to the side of this line here. So that's why I'm concerned we're going to see more roots down the road here if you don't get it updated. Anyway, as an overview here, starting at about 8 feet, we have a large root intrusion, and then immediately following that, we have about 30 feet of pipe there that's lost some slope and grade. We've got anywhere from a ½ inch to about 1.5 inches of standing water in the line. And then at many of those pipe joints, we have excess pipe grout sitting right in the middle of the line. It was water through on its way out to the main. So recommend that whole section there, from 8 feet to 38 feet at the very least, be updated. Ideally, you take the whole update all the way out to the end of responsibility, and that way it's just taken care of for a very long time to come. And I highly recommend a rescope after any repair work is done to make sure it was done correctly.